Well, it actually freaking worked. Let me explain.
Today is finally the day where I'm going to buy a Sony FX3, a cinema camera off Facebook Marketplace. Sounds super sketchy. And yeah, that's me trying to save an extra $1,000. By the way, I got it and I can't believe it freaking actually works. But through this entire experience, I discovered 3 big tips that I think would help anybody that wants to go down this journey. These 3 tips are going to change the way you shop on Facebook Marketplace, by the way. I've been on a 6-month journey of trying to do this. About 6 months ago, I wanted to buy a Sony FX3 on Facebook Marketplace, and everybody thought I was absolutely insane. So I began the journey of going down that path with no guidance and never making that big of a purchase on Facebook Marketplace. I went down this rabbit hole on Facebook Marketplace, trying to message different people, and I had quite an interesting experience through Facebook Marketplace, and I felt like I discovered a market of kind of sketchiness that I didn't even know existed. Facebook Marketplace is a weird place to buy expensive things, especially electronics. And so like, I originally was only gonna buy in Facebook Marketplace because it was the best deal to save the most money. And what I learned super quickly is that there was a lot of people listing the cameras that they looked legit. You go to these people's Facebook profiles. These people's Facebook profiles are 100% hacked. You know, it would even be like right in your backyard. And then you talk to them and they're like, oh, you know, I'm actually not there. I actually live here, somewhere far away. And it was so weird. And they're like, but I can ship through PayPal goods and services. And the first time I was like, that seems weird. And so I did the research. It seemed like you could do it through PayPal. When they send it, it was under some weird profile of like what the invoice was under. And I was like, not doing that. So I did that like 6 months ago. And then I kept messaging different people, and some of the prices or the packages of the camera. So the camera would come with like a bunch of accessories. It was just more than I wanted to spend, or it had to come with the lens, and it was more than I wanted to spend. There was one, and I think he was also fake, and I'll put up some of the messages on the screen, but it was like super weird. He's like, oh, I'm on a shoot right now in Des Moines, Iowa. I won't be back. I'll check with my workmate. And I'm like, who says workmate in Wisconsin? Nobody says workmate. What does that even mean, dude? And so I was like, okay, so cross him out. Let me explain this part a little bit more. So when I was trying to buy different cameras on Facebook Marketplace, I got super sick of it and super sketched out. So what I went and did is I actually was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy one from a trusted source. So I looked at Adorama, I looked at buying something from Best Buy, like an open box, and it was a little bit more expensive. And I was like, that's okay, as long as it's going to come and I'm insured that I'm going to get what I order. And what I discovered was then I went to actually check out to actually purchase one, and then I saw the taxes. And I was like, wow, I'm not gonna spend that. So I quick reversed, boop, boop, and I actually went back to looking at Facebook Marketplace again. Finally, I messaged this dude, Ralph, like 2 weeks ago, and him and I are going back and forth. He sent more pictures, and it sounds hilarious, but I was looking at his hands. I was like, okay, his hands in those pictures are the same hands in the pictures in the listing, and they look like they could be his hands from his profile. And so, you know, you do all the funny stuff to make sure the person's real. So we set a meeting point, and we're meeting at a hotel lobby, so it's a neutral site. He messaged me this morning he's on his way. I messaged him back that I'm on my way, and so we are going to go get the camera. So when I first pulled up to this hotel, we parked. It was a snowy day. I walked in the door, and it's a super small lobby, and I'm looking left, looking right. I don't see him or anybody. My wife went to go use the bathroom, and I'm sitting there waiting. I text him. Next thing you know, about 10 minutes later, him and his wife come walking past the window, and they come in the door. And I was like, no kidding, there he is. And he brought 2 bags. One of the bags actually had a camera cage that I actually wanted to use for the camera. The other one had the camera in it. And so right away, we shook hands. He was normal, I was normal, and he opened up the boxes. He actually let me use it all. I actually brought one of my 16 to 35 millimeter lenses, so I got to test out the autofocus. I got to make sure the picture looked good, and it was mind-blowing that the camera looked like it hadn't even been touched. I thought this was an absolute impossible deal. $3,400. I got the Sony FX3, and I got a camera cage, and everything was practically brand new, not even touched, not even a fingerprint on it. It was super unbelievable. Back to the car. We just picked up the camera, we're back on the road. He said the same thing. He actually went through the process of buying it was like $7,000 camera, through Facebook Marketplace and actually lost all his money, didn't get his money back or anything. So he was it's hilarious, he was as sketchy of me as I was as sketchy of him.
Works perfectly. Pretty freaking unbelievable, huh? Look at that. Man, I got a killer deal on this thing. Let's hear the 3 tips. And none of this would have happened as well without these 3 tips that I learned along the way.
Moral of the story, 3 tips I figured out. Okay, 1, don't pull the trigger right away. Take your time when you're buying expensive stuff, and if you're thinking about doing it through Facebook Marketplace. 2, if the price is too good to be true, you can test it out, see, but as soon as it goes to PayPal or something seems weird, something's off. But the 3rd thing is, can you find real people and have like good deals, but also like have everything be exactly how it says and do a large transaction? 100%. This is a good success story. I know people might not all have that experience, but you can actually buy good stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You always got to meet in person. Would I do this again and buy something expensive on Facebook Marketplace like this to save a lot of that money? 100% I would.
So to recap, I think these tips are just principles to follow when you're looking to make a purchase of this size on Facebook Marketplace. I don't think they're a hack, and I don't think they're a trick to the system. I think you have to go through some of the numbers, but if I would have followed these 3 tips, I would have cut this journey in half, and I firmly believe that. I was overly optimistic about people, but it is possible to find a good camera, super expensive camera that works legit on Facebook Marketplace, and I could not believe some of the stories that Ralph told me.